I don't even know where to start with this. I'll say one thing to start is that I really think if you're gonna have someone on your show and you are of a certain ethnicity or guys, folks, I don't even feel like being politically correct right now. I don't even feel like mincing my words. I'm just, I don't know why some people, and I'm going to say people in general, find a need to give an audience and a voice to men who demean women. Look, Piers Morgan being on The Breakfast Club and him having an entire free mic to say whatever he wanted to say without real pushback, without real questioning. Him saying that he doesn't think he knows the royal family is not racist and all this stuff, when he himself, if anyone had done research, can prove that he actually said that when Meghan was, going into the family, that she was marrying into, and I'm paraphrasing here, one of the most, difficultly racist families or something to that sort, but he said something in that range, kind of trying to warn her, I guess. I watched the show. I listened to it, and I've watched the show ever so often, right? Because I like to hear what opinions and have people kind of sometimes have contrary thoughts or opinions than I do, because it allows me to either validate what I believe in or questions that they have. I'm able to then go and, if I don't know the answers, I go and do some research to see if they are actually right, or if there's any validity to what they're actually saying. So the whole segment where he talks about Meghan, it's just why do some black men feel that it's okay for a man, another man, and look, yes, Piers Morgan is a white man, but I would say any man in general, in this case I think it's even worse because it's a white man, come and say these things about someone who is part of your community. I don't get that. Look, I am mixed race, right? Piers Morgan said on that show that, she calls herself black, or you know, she like she basically questioning whether she should even identify as black. You know, it's really frustrating to hear a person who doesn't understand what people of color, minorities, mixed race, in a country also that if you have 1%, one drop of black blood, you're considered black. I remember at one point, I don't remember which artist said this, I think it might have been Halle Berry, because people say, oh, she's so light skinned or fair skinned also. And she said, well, growing up, mixed race, I never really thought about the two things. Similar to Megan, similar to me, until people tell you who you are. Right? Because they actually start to tell you who you are. So you'll have these friends, or you think they're your friends, and they'll go, oh, you're not one of us. Like you're black. It doesn't matter how light skinned you are. Now, if you really pass as white, if you really look white and no one knows that you have black heritage or any other heritage, then maybe yes. But they tell you who you are. And they exclude you. And you start to form an identity that you put in front of the rest. Like, look, I'm a quarter Chinese. But do you think that the Chinese community just opens their arms and accepts me and go, yeah, you're one of us? No. Because there's certain features that I have that might look Asian, but I don't look Asian. But anytime, I remember, you know, in university, it was I think it was in my second year of university, and one of our professors, the class I was taking, and he said that he was going to pick a few people, and the rest of the class had to write down what they thought the person's race was, or nationality, or identity, or so on, right? And I was picked, right? I was one of the people that was picked. So when it was my turn to guess, went around the class, and I would say everyone in the class got it wrong except for 2 black girls in the class. And when it got to them, one of them said, he's mixed. For sure he's got black. He has a little bit of Asian, I think. He's Latin. And there's something else there. And then the other girl said, yeah, there's some white also. Not sure what kind of white, maybe like, I don't know, some kind of white, but can't identify which white. It's like we know. We see each other, we can identify, we can say, yeah, that he or she looks like she has a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Because a person who is white and has navigated the world as a white person has never asked themselves these questions, have never had to handle racism, and has never grown up in that intersection where, yes, you are part of these different cultures, but they will label you no matter how light-skinned you are. And I'm not saying that there isn't privilege to being of lighter skin. I mean, go back and read the history of mulattoes, and when the white Spaniards or the English would rape or you know, sorry. I'm trying, guys, folks, I'm so sorry. I am trying to be very mellow, because if I speak faster and in anger, I'm going to stutter a lot. And the best way for me not to do that is to just have a very calm voice. So if I sound like I'm being extra calm, that's the reason why, because I'm really angry. I'm really angry. I don't understand. And one can argue and one can say it's freedom of speech. It's my show. I can bring whoever I want on. I get it. I really do. I really do. But if you don't know the entire story of how this man has treated this woman, a woman who's part of your community, a woman who went to another country to marry a prince, a person who she fell in love with, and he fell in love with her. A woman who went in there and she was ready to give not 100%, not even 150, 200%. Her biggest fault was that she was writing emails at all hours of the morning because she had ideas and she was just sending stuff. He questioned again her claim of mental health. He said she was the worst thing that ever happened to the royal family. Okay, I'm not going to repeat what he said. Actually, I'm not even going to show anything from it. And I don't want to encourage you folks to go watch it or anything like that, because then it gives them more clicks and more people watch it. But if you do watch that show, he just talks a lot about, you know, Trump is going to win and all that kind of stuff. And why do black men give voice to a white man that they know has been a leader in bashing a black biracial woman who has put this woman through enormous amount of stress, who day in and day out had the platform to say whatever he wanted, called her all sorts of names. And I'm sorry, but the sort of comeback questions that were thrown at Piers Morgan was sort of like they gave him like soft cotton wipes to wipe his ass. Sorry, I don't. I'm gonna beep that or something. Why? I'm besides myself right now. Because it's not the first time this stuff happens. People have these opinions without, and I don't want to bring other people in it. Like I'm not going to bring in, you know, what Whoopi has said, because I like Whoopi. I've liked a lot of her opinions, a lot of things that she has stand for what she sorry, for what she stands for in many ways. Right, but there's some opinions that she said, I'm going, oh, okay, that's not, I don't think that's the way you should educate yourself a little bit more on that. And I know she's been friends with King Charles for a long time, so she has her own perspective on the whole thing, right? And I can understand that that's where it's coming from. I don't agree with what she says, but to and I've watched shows even in. Oh man, I'm getting sorry. This sucks. I've watched other black women on their platform just go after this woman. I don't get it. Even if you don't like her, right? What has she done to you as a black person? What has she done to you in order for you to provide a platform for these vile things to come out of this man's mouth? Now, the Breakfast Club has a huge audience. Huge. And his opinions are going, honestly, unchallenged. And the follow-up questions are kind of pathetic. What is it? What intellectually, emotionally, what is it that we need to do so that this sort of recurrence of this division and this segregation that was initiated by slave masters when their babies, the babies they had with slaves, if the baby came out and the baby was lighter skin, then the baby was brought into the house, right? That's where the whole mulatto and all this other stuff came from. So there was this creation of then hierarchy and levels, and there was a certain amount of envy and hate now to this lighter skinned black child that didn't do anything. Now if the child came out like a really, really light skin, then they were even given even more privileges, but they still had a drop of black blood. So they were never, ever equal to a white person or a white child, no matter how white they looked. So they had to go through their own journey also. They had their own suffering. As a mixed race person, I've navigated this stuff over and over, and it just frustrates me so much when we as a community, we give voice to racist people and we play ignorant about it. Why? Why do black women attack Megan? Oh, well, she knew what she was getting into. I watched this show in the UK. It was a podcast and it was going really well. And then it came up to, the initiatives that Megan was doing in the UK. And the one female there were two females. One was the host and the other one was a guest. And the guest started to speak and defend Megan and said, finally I see someone in that family that looks like my cousin, that is part of our community, and I never thought it would happen and all that stuff. And the other host was like, she doesn't represent me. She look at her. She passes as white. And I don't know. They're claiming racist. She should have known that family was racist. I don't we get enough? Don't we get enough of having to fight every single, oh gosh, like, and to get it from our own people. I know a lot of people don't care about Meghan Markle. Listen, I know a lot of people who say, oh, she only discovered she was black because they were being racist to her or whatever. Oh, she never identified. Who cares whether she did this or did that? The fact of the matter is that these things are happening to her. The fact of the matter is that it was so bad that she was willing, ready to not be here anymore while there was a baby inside of her. What is wrong with our community? What's wrong? I don't get it. You know, I've fought. I mean, this is not about me, okay? But I've there's a lot of things that life has thrown at me, and I've always kept my faith. I've always trusted God, and I've kept going. And I've always tried to be a decent person and good to people, no matter what. But for my people, my the side that most of the time claims me, because there's tons of black people also that say like, oh, you're not black. But there's also tons that say, oh, come here, you're one of us. You know, I am, and I know that there's sort of this also complexity with black Latinos, because there's many black Latinos that don't even want to identify as black. They'll say, oh no, I'm not that, I'm Dominican. Oh no, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm not black. No, brother, you are, right? Our ancestors came from Africa. Yes, we're also Hispano speaking. We're also Latinos from Latin America, but we're also black. I'm sorry. I know this is long. I know I'm not making sense anymore. I do apologize. I'm going to stop recording, and I'll just try and get my thoughts together and do a proper podcast maybe later. I'm just really... we need to start doing better. I don't care if it's for controversial reasons or for ratings or whatever. We need to start to do better, man. We need to start looking out for each other, protecting each other. If you know you're going to have someone on your show that holds these views about someone in our community, do your research. Have your follow-up questions. Challenge that guest. Okay, folks, I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop it here, and I do apologize. I really do. I'm sorry.